In its quest to provide an open forum for discussion of controversial issues, this station allows hosts and their guests to express themselves without any significant censorship. You are advised that any view expressed by the host or their guest are not necessarily the views of the owners or management of TogiNet Radio, Togi Entertainment, or the Owners Group, Inc.
Motherhood Incorporated proudly presents Military Mom Talk Radio, live on TogiNet.com. Co-hosted by Tina Gonzalez and Sandra Back, the owner of Motherhood Incorporated. Military Mom Talk Radio is here with a powerful platform for women to discuss their ideas, issues, and concerns with respect to the military lifestyle. Military Mom Talk Radio encourages you to share your experiences of being a military wife and mother. This show is dedicated to educating your family about the resources that are available in both the public and private sector. And we'll be sharing helpful information from women around the world. We'll cover everything military, from helping a family member cope with post-traumatic stress disorder, to navigating government programs dealing with family issues, to the struggles of deployment, along with being a working mother, both in and out of the home. This is Military Mom Talk Radio. And here are your hosts, Tina Gonzalez and Sandra Back.
Hey, military moms, this is Sandra Beck, and I'm coming to you live with Tina Gonzalez and Robin Boyd.
Hey, hi, Sandra.
You know, I got to say something. You know, we have had over the almost year now that Military Mom Talk Radio has been on the air. We've had vacations, we've had family issues, we've had all sorts of things going on with the show, and yet we still manage to get on the air every week, and this is largely in part due to the collective efforts of everyone on the show. So I'm going to take a minute to thank Robin Boyd for co-hosting when I need it or when Tina needs it. We're going to thank Carrie in Texas for putting the show together. We're going to thank Rick for all the things that he does, including putting interview questions on my desk when I don't see them, even though he highlighted it and said they're there, and I still couldn't find it. It is quite a collective effort to get this show on the air every week, and I am so proud to be involved with each and every one of you because, you know, I say we're go-to girls or go-to guys, but when the chips are down, we are always there, and we continue to provide what I think is a great service to our military families.
Awesome. And Sandra, you are the beginning and the core of the whole thing, so thank you as well.
Oh, and Tina, welcome back.
And yay, Tina!
Thanks, guys. Thank you guys so much for taking charge while I was gone. It was hard. I'm telling you, when it rains, it pours around here.
Yeah.
And it was like one thing after another after another.
Oh,
but
well,
I'm back.
Well, it happens to all of us. You know, at different points in our life, you know, things change and, you know, people get sick and you know, we have issues with our kids, issues with our pets, issues with our friends, issues with our church, you know, and of course, you know, they all have to roll on the same, you know, come in the same month.
Always. It just has to be that way.
It is, but that's the beauty of what we do because, and Tina, you are best to share this with us, and Robin especially. It's like none of us can do any of this by ourselves.
Oh no.
You know, from raising kids, from trying to run this radio show to running a company. I mean, Robin, how long have we worked together?
Oh my goodness,
4 years.
So, yeah, it's getting on there. I went through some old files because I was trying to locate something from a while ago. And we're talking like 2008, the beginning of 2008. So we're old pals.
We're getting there. But it's true. It's like I can't, you know, it's like I think of doing the show each week and, you know, coordinating guests. And, you know, Robin, you're so wonderful at doing the marketing. And, you know, Rick just picks up the slack whenever I need him without even asking. And, you know, Carrie and Jill over at TogiNet, it's really just an amazing thing. And then some of our fantastic shows have been a direct result of Tina's involvement of bringing people together. I mean, Tina, we're going to have Higher Ground coming on, I think it's either in November or December.
Yeah, I was in contact with Bert. He's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, we couldn't do it alone, and I'm so happy to have you guys here. And that's also why, you know, I wanted to thank you guys for putting this show together. And we have an amazing guest today. And her name is Gregory. And have you guys ever been on militaryconnection.com?
Just today, just my first visit. So I'm so excited to learn more about it.
Yeah, I've been on there before, but I kind of had a hard time navigating through it, and I think I got discouraged when I first started going to school, but it looks very familiar. So.
Well, and there's, what I'm finding with, kind of with the show here, because we're getting to a point now where people are contacting us on a weekly basis, wanting to get on the show and have us talk about their the different things that they do. And I think, as the war drags on, we're starting to see more and more civic organizations getting involved in supporting the military, and a lot more privately funded and some publicly funded events and activities for our military families. And it seems to be getting stronger. Tina, what do you think?
I think so. There's a lot. I think there's a lot of information about getting you to get to school. I think that there's so much stuff out there for the spouses, and I think it's all about getting it out there so they know about it. And it's a lot. You got your pros and stuff that are trying to. Sorry, guys. That are trying to pass on the information, but I think it takes you going to look for it yourself and reading it in black and blue and kind of going over it and over it in your own personal time and when it's convenient for you, than to have to participate in, like a meet and greet and where they have information available to where you can go on your computer and find out, what's going on.
Well, it is. There's so much information out here, and what I didn't realize, when I started working on the show, I had kind of a clear direction and, things I wanted to do, and then all of a sudden I realized there's so much more. It's like a little iceberg out there, and you start digging underneath, and there's grassroots organizations. I mean, just from, and it sounds so silly, but the quilting organizations, these quilting organizations that make quilts for soldiers, it's an amazing thing how many people are out there doing wonderful things. And one of the things that Robin came across this week is this amazing video, an amazing song, and I'm going to turn the mic over to Robin so that she can introduce this. And instead of leading into our next segment, we're going to take a minute to listen to this very powerful song. And Robin, why don't you tell us what it's about?
Well, it was sent to me, actually, from one of the gals that we had on a month or so ago, Dee Dee Rice with the National Guard, and it was so moving. And I have to say, we do have the video on www.militarymomtalkradio.com. It is on YouTube, and I'm going to read this because it's just as easy to read it. This young girl, 7th grader at the time, said she had written this one night with her dad's help. She did not realize how much it would mean until he started telling her about deployment ceremonies he had attended. Then there's a little bit more on their website, but let me read this. The Price of Peace was written in early summer of 2008 by Alyssa Gaddis after a discussion she had had with her father, CW5 Jim Gaddis of the Illinois National Guard. The discussion revolved around the large number of soldiers that were deployed overseas, while their families were left behind. Alyssa realized that it was probably as hard on the families as it was on the soldiers to be deployed. Her dad gave her a pad of paper and told her to write down how she felt, and the lyrics of The Price of Peace were born. The family knew that the lyrics had merit, so they enlisted the co-writing assistance of Nashville writer Hart Steen. Hart added the music and recorded a basic track for the lyrics, and after a few discussions with some members of the Illinois Employee Support of the Guard and Reserves about the song, the State Farm agreed to sponsor the recording. State Farm provided the funding for the recording and production of the song. The song will be distributed via the Internet, both in digital and CD formats. Profits from the song will be donated to the family readiness groups and local VFWs for families in need. And again, the website is on our site. So, Carrie, if you are ready to cue that up, it would be a great way for us to think of Veterans Day.
Standing at the gate, knowing I can't wave enough. It's gonna be tough for a girl to say goodbye to her daddy's smile is rough. Can't cover it up. That's how much I love having him there for dances, dinners for you. When you're all fighting, Dad, we're frightened to see you soon. The price of peace is paid by the families on their knees praying tonight, by a soldier's feet on some foreign street, just trying to save a life. By a daughter's here as she sees her hero do what he thinks is right. The loss may run deep, but if it's love we need, well, that's the price of peace. It's hard that he's gone, but the moments go on non-stop. I think about him a lot, but for him it's more than a job. So the comfort for me in his letters each week is I know that he knows I can't wait till he's home, so I can hug him, have him hold me, not let me loose. When he's told you don't be sad, hope is all you can do. The price of peace is paid by the families on their knees praying tonight, by a soldier's feet on some foreign street, just trying to save a life. By a daughter's tear as she sees her hero do what he thinks is right. The loss may run deep, but if it's love we leave, that's the price of peace. And the countdown goes from months to weeks to days.
We want to thank all our freedom fighters, veterans now and in our past, and we'll be back in a moment.
Are you a military mom looking for help in dealing with the system, keeping the home fires burning? That's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Tina Gonzalez. And we'll be right back after these. Okay, we will. We're going to teach you how to tell your money where to go. It's Intelligent Investing with Pam Otten on TogiNet. Learn how to be a savvy investor from someone who has your best interest at heart. Pam Otten is a financial advisor who loves to help successful business owners and entrepreneurs understand the mysteries of the investment world, and she's not afraid to share that knowledge. Pam is an unashamed Christian and qualified kingdom advisor, which means she's trained and committed to integrating biblical principles into her financial advice. Pam believes investing isn't rocket science. This is the financial advisor who's in your corner and truly understands and cares about you and helping you achieve your goals. Securities and advisory services are offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. It's Intelligent Investing with Pam Otten on TogiNet. Mark Lipinski is coming to TogiNet. It's Creative Mojo with Mark Lipinski, a live 2-hour show Wednesday afternoon starting at 3, 2 Central on TogiNet.com. Creative Mojo. It's fun, entertaining, informative, inspirational, and illuminating. Lipinski has worked on such shows as Oprah, The View, The Joan Rivers Show, and Ricky Lake. He's busy, but he's got the drive to share with Creative Mojo, dedicated to the modern crafter and crafting lifestyle. Dive into the info and enjoy everything from celebs to entertainment news to recipes, quilting and needlework, knitting, painting, woodworking, Christmas crafts, and so much more. This show boldly encourages you to discover and harness your own creative spirit by living creatively every day. For more on Mark and the show, check out marklipinski.com. Don't miss the fun. It's Creative Mojo with Mark Lipinski, Wednesday afternoon starting at 3, 2 Central on TogiNet.com.
There ain't no doubt I love this land. God
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com, covering topics to help on the home front, with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now, let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Tina Gonzalez and Sandra Beck.
Hey, military moms. This is Sandra Beck, and I am here with Tina Gonzalez and Robin Boyd. And we are the Military Triumvirate for today. And thank you, Robin, for finding such a great song. And I would encourage everybody who caught the last segment to go to www.Military Mom Talk Radio to watch the video. We pulled in the YouTube video there. It's really something powerful. It's something beautiful to see. And anybody who is going through deployment or has been deployed or has gone through deployment has affected their families, it's really just a beautiful, beautiful piece of music, and it's a beautiful video. So I would highly encourage you guys to check it out. Also, I would encourage you guys to check out iTunes to Military Mom Talk Radio, where you can download shows you might have missed. And today, without further ado, we have Debbie from MilitaryConnection.com. Debbie, are you with us?
I'm with you. Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Before we get into MilitaryConnection.com, which I would encourage everybody to check out if they haven't already, that's just like it sounds, military, MILITARY, connection, CONNECTION.com. I'd like Debbie to tell us a little bit about herself.
Hi. Thank you. Is this Sandra I'm speaking with?
Yes. Sorry,
okay, right. I know I'm on the phone with Sandra, Tina, and Robin. Okay, Sandra, I'm the CEO of MilitaryConnection.com, and we've been around for almost 10 years, the website for 6. And my father was a veteran. He was with a family of 10 brothers, and 8 of them served at the same time. And my dad was a disabled veteran, 100% service-connected, and I kind of grew up in VA hospitals. And I didn't start out here, but this is where I'm supposed to be, I think.
Wow. So what encouraged you to do what you're doing today? I mean, I understand that, you spend a lot of time in the VA hospitals, but what did you wake up one day and go, this is what I want to do? I know for Military Mom Talk Radio, I was frustrated with the ability for families to get necessary information of organizations that I knew were out there that could make a difference. And, that's kind of when I woke up that day and go, okay, this is what we need to do. This will help. What was the impetus to start Military Connection?
Well, it was kind of a journey. My own background is I was a partner in a retained search firm in high technology electronics, which is a job where you're almost surgically attached to a telephone. And I became a mom myself. And when my son was old enough to go to school and I started working, I moved into advertising, recruitment advertising. And after doing that for a while, being successful, going back to being a stay-home mom, my husband said I was doing so much community service that maybe I'd be smart in starting a company. And he encouraged me, and I started Military Connection, and we did primarily print advertising in military-based papers, which we still handle, primarily recruitment print advertising. I saw a need for a directory of resources and information for military families, veterans, and also the papers, as good as they are, each one is a separate entity, and at the end of the day, the buck does not stop with me on quality and other issues. So I launched Military Connection in 2006, and it has been quite a wild ride, especially for someone who considers themselves technically challenged. I learn something new every day.
Well, and I think especially, in the tech field, things change so rapidly. I own Motherhood Incorporated, which employs moms to work in the tech fields from home along with some guys. But it's a constant challenge, but it's also very freeing sometimes because people will ask me the most random questions and then they'll look at me like, well, how do you not know this? Well, nobody can know this stuff. I mean, even the kids coming out of college and, people who are in the fields, we look around and we sit around and talk and we scratch our heads going, did you know this? No, I didn't know that. And recently Rick and I had lunch with Michael Russer, who's going to be on our show in a couple of weeks. He owns the Go Army Homes franchise, which helps people when they PCS from base to base. And, he's Mr. Internet. He's the guy that I go to when I don't know what I'm talking about. And he's asking me questions. I'm like, oh, no, we're all in trouble now.
I know, and it changes so much, too, the Internet. If someone would have told me years ago that I would be running a website that gets 10,000 visitors a day, and I would, sort of learn what I'm doing, I would have, told them they needed medication. But, you have to change with technology. And let's face it, especially for the military that's constantly moving around, a web, online and website, that's the way to go.
Absolutely, absolutely. That was one of the things about when we were developing Military Mom Talk Radio, one of the big selling points was that the shows were available on iTunes. They could not only live stream it on TogiNet.com, but they could go, to Military Mom Talk Radio and download past shows. So no matter where you are, whatever time zone you're in, this stuff is live. And, your website is open 24/7 for business.
I know. Yes, it is. And that could be a positive and a negative. When you're on vacation, if something is going to be a challenge, it'll be a challenge when you're not there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because, when you run an Internet-based company, business can come in from any time zone on any day, and it's, Sunday here, but it's Monday somewhere else. And is that a strain on your family?
No, not really. I have a 21-year-old son who, everything he does is on the Internet or on the phone or, electronically communication. So it's not a strain. I found myself, I was on vacation at the beach this summer, and being a military site, we tend to be a target because our name is military.
Oh, sure.
By there's internet terrorists that target different areas, and we were having some issues, and I found that I needed to have my computer with me all the time. So I'd be in a beautiful area or on the beach or something when maybe you're not thinking of a computer, and I'd have to go and check the computer. But it all worked out. We have our site hosted with the same data center where some of the Pentagon servers are, because security is a big issue because our name is Military Connection. So sometimes, in other countries you get targeted and you have to take additional security measures.
That's amazing. It makes sense when you say this, that, when I think about, issuing security certificates and all these things that go along with, having a website like yours. But you're right. I mean, just the name, to have that military in your title and in your domain name, I could see how that would make you a target. Right.
And not only my site, but colleagues that have similar sites have had similar experiences.
It is. It's amazing. It's amazing. So tell me, you said you get 10,000 visitors a day. That's 3 million a year?
I haven't. I usually go by the day or the week and the month to kind of see that we're on target. You're probably right. It's roughly that many a year. We have a pretty good reach, and what we try to do is use some of that reach to, help the military community, especially many of the wonderful nonprofits out there.
We
get the opportunity to work with a lot of them, and it's a privilege.
Well, and one thing that we didn't do is we didn't, we kind of got this a little backwards, at least I did, running the show, but we didn't talk about what Military Connection offers.
Oh, well, let me tell you a little bit about it. Military Connection offers something for everyone. It's one of the most comprehensive online directories of resources and information for military veterans and their family members. And even if someone isn't in the military, they're going to find valuable information. We don't discriminate as far as usage. And just about everything on the site you can access without even a registration. There's only 2 areas of the site that require registration, and one of them is, if you're a job seeker, of course. And we are a top 100 employment website. That's one area of focus. And then we have a directory of thousands of scholarships for military and veterans, and that will require registration. But everything else is completely open, and you'll find every base, every hospital, every transition center, every benefit. You even find a directory of military golf courses. All the commissaries are on it. Advice columns, pay charts, retirement calculators. There's even a database called Helpful Links that is literally a database of databases. And we have all kinds of information for everyone, and if you don't have it and you think it's a good idea and it'll be valuable, send me an email and we'll build it and consider it.
Well, and it's so important, to have one source where you can go, because there's just, I was really, quite frankly, overwhelmed with the sheer number of organizations out there. And then, when we started delving into getting guests for the show and we saw how many people that were recommended to us from the military and all the different branches and all the different organizations that are out there, both public and private, it's really overwhelming.
It is. And also, what I find over and over, whether it's with active military veterans or spouses, is they don't always know what they need to know, either whether it be benefits they're entitled to or places to go for help or whatever. So we try to put as much out there that will be of help to, the people that need it the most.
Now, what is one of the most frequently visited areas of your site?
Definitely the pay charts. Definitely the job board. Also the education area, which is relatively new. We started it about a year ago, shortly before the post-9/11 GI Bill passed. And that is just a wonderful benefit for those that serve. Literally, it pays full tuition. It has a transferability option that if someone served a certain amount of time and they don't want to use it, they can transfer to their wife or to their children.
You know what, Debbie, I don't mean to cut you off, but when we come back from break, I would like to talk more about education. Okay. My name is Sandra Beck, and I am the host of Military Mom Talk Radio, along with Tina Gonzalez. We also have Robin Boyd joining us today. We are on live with militaryconnection.com. Check it out, MILITARY Connections, CONNECTION.com. Debbie is our guest. Let's come back to the break and talk about education.
Are you a military mom? Looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? That's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Tina Gonzalez. And we'll be right back after these. If you're ready for a big change in your work, your career, your happiness, your life, it's time for the $1 Million Mindset with Marla Tabaka. Monday afternoons at 2, 1 Central on TogiNet.com. Marla believes that with the right mindset, anything is possible. Join us as successful life coach Marla Tabaka inspires you and her clients to explore, discover, and live your dreams by developing what she calls the $1 Million Mindset. Marla will inspire you to take action on your dreams and reveal secrets to success that will help you realize your own unique power. Tune into the $1 Million Mindset for heartwarming stories with Marla Tabaka. Learn tips and tricks to building a successful business and unlock the secrets to creating a happier, more balanced life through abundant thinking and attraction power. For more information on the $1 Million Mindset, go to our website, marlatabaka.com. That's MARLATABAKA.com. It's the $1 Million Mindset with Marla Tabaka. Monday afternoons at 2, 1 p.m. Central on TogiNet.com. Come learn with me as the show created as much for the host as the audience. Join host Danny Walker Wednesdays at 11, noon Central on TogiNet.com as she invites you to get your boots on and walk through life's triumphs and troubles with her. Come learn with me is the beginning of a movement, a community filled with caring people who share information, allowing everyone to participate, gain, and grow. What works? What doesn't? Your host, Danny Walker, is a self-proclaimed student, not expert, and she'll share very candidly passions, perspectives, failures, her family's battle with illness, her restaurant inspirations to keep being a wife, parent, and more, all the while including industry experts, disease survivors, and guests to add to the mix. For more on Danny and her show, go to DannyWalker.com, DANI Walker.com. If you've ever searched high and low to find answers to sickness, disease, and debt, come learn with me, and let's get our questions answered together. Come learn with me with host Danny Walker, Wednesdays at 11, noon Central on TogiNet.com.
Put a boot in your ass, it's the American way. Hey, Uncle Sam, put your name at the top of his list, and the Statue of Liberty started shaking her fist.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com, covering topics to help on the home front, with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now, let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Tina Gonzalez and Sandra Beck.
Courtesy.
Hey, military moms, this is Sandra Beck, and I'm here with my lovely co-host, Tina Gonzalez, and Robin Boyd. And I'm so glad to have you guys here today because we have just an outstanding guest, Debbie Gregory from MilitaryConnection.com. Girls, do you have any questions for Debbie before we go into our education segment?
Well, I just wanted to say I've been playing on the web. I've been playing on the site since we started the show, and it is, like she said, easy to navigate. I don't know how many times that I've tried to find a pay chart and had to go through this horrendous login part in the front, and then when you go back to it, you forget what your login is, and it's like, oh, great, now I got to wait for it to be emailed, and sometimes it takes 2 or 3 days to get that password. So this is awesome. I can go in there. There's so many things you can click on, and they don't ask you for all that information. Kind of, I mean, to me, I think they want to be able to keep, track of who's coming on and stuff. But it's nice to know that I don't have to do that, that if I need to quickly find out how much an amount is, I can find it out. Because I don't know how many times I have people call and say, do you know what, we get paid for this after this many years? And I'm like, yeah, let me find a pay chart. And then you got to go through that long login process. So that's awesome. That is a real benefit. So you did good on that part.
Thank you.
Yes, Debbie, your website is completely under scrutiny by the guests at Military Mom Talk Radio, and we will feel free to give our opinion at any turn.
Well, it's there to be used, and that's one of the reasons we encourage people and want to get the word out is that the people will use the resources.
Absolutely. And the thing is, when I look at this, Debbie, and I spend a lot of time on military sites. I'm always looking for new and interesting guests, or people come from around the country wanting submitting proposals that this is what they want to talk about on the radio show. And I spend a lot of time cruising the military community online, and yours is just one of the most comprehensive sites that I've ever seen. And I just want to commend you on that because what you put together is an enormous amount of work.
Thank you. My original developer, their mantra was Debbie Stop. We kept getting ready to launch initially, and I kept saying, no, we need to have this and we need to have that, because I really felt that if we had the valuable information, people would come. And it turned out to be very, very true. I think that because we have so much, that's one of the reasons why we have the traffic that we do. And also because it is open. You don't have to register for every little thing. We try to keep it, to the minimum, make it easy and user-friendly.
And it is. It's very easy to navigate. It's not as flashy as some sites I've seen, but I like that because I can find what I'm looking for quickly. And that's it. To me, that's the name of the game in internet sites today, whether, we're building them for real estate or for, photography, whatever it is. Everything is about being instant. And one of the things that I love about your site is that you can get within 3 clicks, I've always been able to find what I'm looking for.
Well, it's going to even be easier. We are getting close to beta testing a new version of Military Connection that'll have a more modern look and feel. It'll have all of the resources. You won't have to register for everything, as we said. It'll keep that format, but it'll be able to have more video. It'll have, as I said, a more modern look and feel to it. It'll be easier to search for things, and also it'll be more compatible with phones as well, which just seems to be the way that the internet web world is going.
It's a great thing. It's a great thing. And I'm going to give that website for everyone again. It's Military Connection, MILITARY Connection, CONNECTION.com, Military Connection. Debbie, let's talk a little bit about education. You said the education portion of your site is one of, is highly trafficked.
Oh, yes. In fact, if you Google education for military, I think we're number 4 out of over 200 million listings. And we've built an area where we have just about everything. First of all, education is probably one of the top reasons that people enlist in the military, other than to serve. That's one of the best benefits. And as you well know, people get promoted and get higher ranks in pay by getting further training and so forth. So in August of last year, the post-9/11 GI Bill was passed, and it is just a very comprehensive bill. There's over 600,000 veterans that are enrolled so far, and that's just the tip of the iceberg because we find so many that don't even know of the benefits. Additionally, the federal government has paid out $5.76 billion in benefits to military, veterans, and directly to schools, colleges, certificate programs since August of last year. I was mentioning in reference to spouses that there is a transferability option where someone that has served, that has retired or served 6 years and agrees to another 4 years of some type of duty can transfer those benefits to his or her wife and children, or husband and children. So it's a wonderful benefit. The GI Bill pays 100% of the in-state tuition. For example, whatever the highest tuition is in the state you're in, it's going to pay 100%, and it pays it directly to the school or university. It also pays for certificate programs. If you're going to a private school, many of the private schools are what they call yellow ribbon schools, where they agree to accept what the VA will pay them, and you can attend some of the top schools in the country that are private as well. Additionally, if you're taking 12 units or more, you can get tax-free living expenses. I live in California, and it goes by the zip code of the school, but in my area, it's almost $2,000 a month.
Wow.
For taking 12 units or more. And then there's a $1,000 book allowance. It also covers online education. There's a program for spouses called MyCAA that covers portable careers, up to $4,000 a year. There are many wonderful programs for spouses. In fact, one of the nonprofits that we work with, I want to mention, is Thanks USA. I don't know if you've heard of them, but what they do is they give out scholarships, and they've given out over $5 million to dependents of military.
Wow. What's the website that people could go to, or could they navigate from your site?
Thanks, THANKS, USA.org.
Okay, so that's ThanksUSA.org.
Yes, and it was started by 2 young girls who wanted to help our service members. And they give out over $5 million in scholarships. We've worked with them since they started. They're just a super organization. In fact, we've even had a couple military connection scholarships. And most of the money goes to military spouses or dependents, and it's a wonderful organization. And there are a lot of scholarships out there. And over, I'm so impressed with military spouses. I've met a lot of them, and they have an attitude. I've had a number of them work for me, and they have such an attitude of they're professionals. You know, whatever they do, they put forth their best efforts. So many of them are in school. They are advancing themselves in their careers. From an employment standpoint, you can't get a better employee. A lot of employers don't understand that moving goes with the territory. And it's not because anybody is flaky, but, when their husbands are transferred, they're transferred often as well, if it's not, an overseas deployment. So as a result, the hardest part for me has been when they've had to leave.
Absolutely. Well, Tina, why don't you tell us a little bit about your educational background, because you've done something amazing recently.
Yeah, I attempted to get into my CAA back, I believe, in August when they had came through base and that they were enrolling, and I didn't benefit off of the first program because I did have my master's, and it was for I believe people that only had associate degrees, and so I just recently got signed up with my CAA now that they have a new program, and I'm doing their medical front secretary or coding, something along those lines, because I would like to, I guess, further my education. I'm ready to go back to work, but then I'm like, I get interested in programs like this because it's, like she said before, these are scholarships that, you don't have to pay for, and every bit of education will benefit you, no matter what.
Well, you have your MBA on top of it. Yeah,
I have my master's, and the thing is, when I first decided to go to school, I wasn't, savvy into finding out about all these little things that I could, take advantage of. So I just enrolled in school and, just got every student loan I could possibly get and, the grants that I could get, but I never took advantage of using the GI Bill or writing for scholarships or anything like that. So, I'm paying my schooling ended up costing me $60,000. And I'm paying that back now.
Oh, I understand. I have a son in college.
Yeah, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I think I'm going to end up owing this money still when I'm like 70 years old. So that's a lot of money to pay back. And everyone I tell, they're like, oh my gosh, why didn't you get a scholarship or and it's just at that time, all I cared about was getting into school. I knew that I had that drive right then and there, and that if I didn't hurry up and put myself into school, I probably wouldn't have done it. And
I'm glad that commended. You have an MBA and you're still learning and advancing yourself. I mean, that's wonderful. And it probably hasn't been easy because, do you have children, Tina?
I have 4.
Oh, you have 4. All right. Well, what else can I say? You said it all. 4 children, and military spouses are, keeping the home fires burning while their spouses are deployed or working. Bringing up 4 children sometimes by yourself at times, and going to school and getting an MBA and still going to school. I mean, what else can I say? Military spouses walk on water.
Well, and be on a radio show.
And that too, right?
It is. I graduated in 2008, and ever since I got out of school, I'm like, gosh, maybe I should have got my doctorate. But it's been a rocky...
Guys, I hate to cut you off. We're about ready to go to break. My name is Sandra Beck. I'm here with Tina Gonzalez, Robin Boyd, and Debbie Gregory of militaryconnection.com. We're going to come back after the break and hear more about Tina's educational exploits.
Are you a military mom? Looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? That's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Tina Gonzalez. And we'll be right back after these. Adoption, Journey to Motherhood with Mary Beth Wells. Monday mornings at 9, 8 a.m. Central. This is not your typical show about adopting children. This is a shared experience from Mary Beth's heart. Mary Beth will be talking about and covering all the issues pertaining to adoption, including adopted parents, birth parents, adoptees, foster care, and infertility. So, How did your journey to motherhood begin? Or are you still on the path? We want to hear all voices sharing their stories and talking about those issues that are so dear to our hearts. You see, Mary Beth is a birth mom that relinquished a child for adoption and ended up coming full circle by adopting 2 beautiful little girls from Guatemala. And that led to her starting a doll company about adopting baby dolls from all around the world so that children could choose their own doll and learn about that doll's heritage. For more on Mary Beth and her dolls, go to preciousbabydolls.com. Then join us for Adoption, Journey to Motherhood with Mary Beth Wells. Monday mornings at 9, 8 a.m. Central. Remember, the heart knows no boundaries.
Hello. Today we are looking at the correct way to eat corny dogs and fried chicken with a fork.
This is not your hair in a bun with pearls on etiquette class. It's time for How Not to Act with Melanie Broyles. Mondays at noon, 11 a.m. Central on TogiNet.com. Be here as Melanie shows us how practicing good manners should be a way of life, how poise and self-confidence help young people feel good about themselves, and how a child of a healthy self-esteem becomes the adult with a positive sense of self. Broyles understands that etiquette is a sensitive topic and has found ways to use humor to make etiquette more fun. For more on Melanie and her programs, go to etiquettestlouis.com. Etiquette is not about impressing people. It's about using kindness, courtesy, and respect in every part of our daily lives. Melanie feels that everyone should have the opportunity to feel comfortable in social and business situations. So be here for How Not to Act with Melanie Broyles. Mondays at noon, 11 a.m. Central on TogiNet.com.
There ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com, covering topics to help on the home front, with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sail at the BX. Now, let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Tina Gonzalez and Sandra Beck.
Hey, military moms. My name is Sandra Beck, and I'm here with Tina Gonzalez and Robin Boyd. And
Hey,
we have as our
hey,
guest...
Debbie. Hi, Tina.
We have as our guest today Debbie Gregory from Military Connection. I would highly encourage everybody listening today to go to militaryconnection.com and check it out. There's lots of great resources for military spouses. Has to do with education and jobs, and just there's so much good stuff on this site. It's very easy to navigate, and one of the best features of it is you don't have to sign in to find great information like pay charts and information on education. There's some nonprofits advertised on there, and I'm going to turn the mic over right now to Debbie Gregory, who is the CEO, so that she can tell us what are some of the benefits of Military Connection and what are some things that you can find on there and how best to navigate the site.
Okay, well, one of the things that we have is we have an area dedicated to military spouses. And it's like its own little mini website, and you'll find everything in there. You'll find charities, you'll find columns on advice, jobs, finance, information. There's various handbooks and guides, housing and relocation, moving resources, press release, shopping, spouse articles. I also wanted to talk about jobs. That's one of our major areas of focus on the site and on the job board, and that is one of the few areas that you do register for. But once you register, there are thousands of jobs on militaryconnection.com. Our jobs, other jobs, jobs from some of the job boards by category. And besides the jobs, we have an area called the virtual job fair. And these are the companies that really want to get in front of military veterans and spouses, and they put together a full-color ad telling you about their opportunities and about themselves, what benefits they offer, a little bit about them, where they're located. Some of them are national. A lot of them are healthcare. We do a lot of healthcare. We do a lot of high-tech, trades, technical, finance, just about everything across the board. But in today's challenging job market, every additional information, and we have an area within the job board called Job Tips, and I strongly recommend people to go to that because you're going to find so much valuable information to kind of give you an idea of some of the topics in there. We have everything from a guide to the most evil job interview questions, the top diversity companies, applicant tracking systems, how to be your own recruiter, changing industries, top jobs in America, counter offer caution, cover letters, all the things that you need in negotiating an offer, getting a job, what to do in the interview, what not to do in the interview, making the most of seasonal jobs, maybe making them become permanent jobs. There's even an interviewing cheat sheet, so to speak, where, there's resources for candidates. And I want people to use it. We've gone to a lot of work to make sure that information's out there. And it is a work in process. We're always adding new areas to the site that we hope will help people. One of the other things we have is a directory of employers. And there must be 30 or 40,000 employers with, information about them that will help you get a job.
Now, if people are there's a twofold question. If people are looking to hire military people, how do they go about putting a job posting on your site?
Okay, well, we are a for-profit company, although we work with many of the nonprofits. So they would contact us. We have job postings. We have ads. We can feature them in the newsletter. One thing that we try to do is a lot of due diligence. We don't want to put anything on the site unless it's the real deal, and whether it's employment or anything else, we really try to make sure that whatever's being offered is exactly what it's being offered to. Because nobody likes to have their time wasted, especially while they're looking for a job. So they would contact us. They can go to the site and hit contact us, and our team will respond right away. We try to find out what they're looking for and make sure that we can help them. In addition to the site, we still are contracted with the base papers, although I think my own preference is online, but in some instances, print is good for certain companies.
Okay. Now,
rare instances.
Rare instances.
You're not going to get the exposure that you do online.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm going to switch gears a little bit, and I would like you to talk about some of the different events that you do.
Oh, that's some of the fun that I have. We do a lot of events. I'll tell you about some of the ones we've done. We recently, for the 5th year in a row, did the 9/11 Freedom Walk that we produced in partnership with the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library. This year, it was an incredible event. We seemed to outdo ourselves each year. We had 2,500 people at the Reagan Library. Gary Sinise was one of our keynote speakers. And Gary, by the way, for those that don't know, is kind of like the Bob Hope of our generation. He just works tirelessly to support military and veterans. He's a very giving, a high-profile personality, and it's very much appreciated, all that he does. So Gary was there. We had the commander of our local base as one of the speakers, and we had an amazing man by the name of Scott Strauss. And Scott was a former NYPD police officer, New York police officer, that did a 3 or 4 day rescue of Port Authority officers in the Twin Towers.
Oh, okay.
And he was featured in Oliver Stone's movie World Trade Center. And just a very humble man. So we try to cover first responders, too. That's one event. We did a concert at Marine Base Camp Pendleton with a number of nonprofits and Phil Vassar, which was a fun event. We've done a USO webinar to raise money for the USO. What we do is when a nonprofit is doing an event or something, we try to publicize it for them because we have a pretty good reach. In addition to the traffic, we have a database of almost 750,000. And even on Twitter, if you want to follow us on Twitter, we're called the Go-To Site. And
why are you called the Go-To Site?
Well, it was a nickname. The general of one of the commanding bases here, Los Alamitos Joint Forces Base, nicknamed us the Go-To Site. And when I went to register on Twitter about a year or so ago, because we've only been on there about a year, militaryconnection.com wasn't able to fit. You have to have a certain amount of letters.
Right.
Okay. And
so
I
you're
thought,
like me, Motherhood Incorporated. Could we have longer company names?
Right, exactly. But so I said, okay, we're going to be the go-to site because, none of those words are very many letters, and together they're less than militaryconnection.com. So we became the go-to site, and I think we have over 58,000 followers. So we are actually tweeting for people.
That is so great.
And one of the things that we do here with the USO is the GI Comedy Night at one of the major comedy venues here in Los Angeles. And we have major comics, and then we have some GI comics. Another event that we're doing on Memorial Day is Veterans Day at the Reagan is, have any of you heard of Tempered Steel?
The band?
No, it's not a band. It's a photographic exhibit of wounded warriors. And it's amazing. The photographer is Michaela Bensko, who is a friend and one of the most compassionate people I know. She is one of the founders of the Iraq Star Foundation, which I'll tell you about in a minute. But she has captured the essence of these wounded warriors, and it is just amazing. You have to look at it. Well, anyway, we arranged for Tempered Steel to be an exhibit for the Veterans Day program at the Reagan Library. And you can Google Tempered Steel. I can't articulate to you. You'd have to see it yourself, but it's, you can see it online. I think these photographs belong to the Smithsonian. That's how good they are. They're nothing short of extraordinary. And Iraq Star is another organization, to give you an idea of some of the groups we work with. This is an event, too. It is an organization of the top plastic and reconstructive surgeons in the nation. And it was founded by a former Air Force nurse, Maggie Lockridge, and Michaela's Maggie's daughter, Michaela Bensko. And what they do are pro bono surgeries on very severely wounded warriors, multiple amputees, burn victims, people, are wounded warriors that require thousands of operations. And these are the top plastic surgeons in the nation. Maybe they're taking it up a notch, and they're working in conjunction with the VA and our military hospitals, who do a wonderful job. I don't want anyone to think that I don't think that some of the work they do is extraordinary too. But it's another resource, and it's all provided free. And last year we had a wonderful event. We were the media sponsor. The Iraq Star Foundation had a gala at the Universal Hilton Hotel, and Dr. Phil of the Dr. Phil Show was the MC. Gary Sinise was honored. Janice Miller performed. But the real stars were these wounded warriors. And, when you see them and you get to know them and you see someone that, all of a sudden they're getting their life back together. There's one of my favorites is now going to the LA Film School, and he'll probably make great films and be one of our greatest filmmakers, in the future. And he's gone through many operations. It really is gratifying.
Debbie, I got to tell you, you have been one of the most unbelievably knowledgeable, I can't even do the grammar, but an amazing amount of information that you have managed to relay during this quick 1 hour show. I would love to have you back in the future as a guest, because not only is your site amazing, and you guys check it out, militaryconnection.com. Robin, who's on our show today, his husband is already out there looking at the job board because he is also prior military. My name is Sandra Beck. I'm here with Tina Gonzalez and Robin Boyd, and our guest today was Debbie Gregory at militaryconnection.com. Check it out. It's a good thing.
Thank you.